Osgood Perkins is a director that has been busy for the past few years. Just between July of 24 and November 25, he has released 3 movies. Longlegs in July last year, The Monkey from this year in February, and now with the movie Keeper. His movies always have this mystery around them, except for The Monkey. Longlegs was very hyped up. And it was a great movie. So was The Monkey. What he always has is a distinct style, and you either love it or hate it. Like with Longlegs, this movie, The Keeper, is very mysterious in its marketing. Keeper is about this couple, Malcolm and Liz, who for their first year anniversary go to a secluded cabin in the countryside. And then things spiral out of hand. That's basically the premise of this movie. What I will start with is that the performances from the 2 leads are good, especially from Tatiana Maslany. But Rossif Sutherland does good enough here too. The movie does look great visually, having a lot of high-angle shots and low-angle shots, which makes for a quite awkward experience. The movie is also very well designed. You feel the isolation. It's a gorgeous movie overall. It does create tension quite effectively. You do wonder what's going on for the most of the movie, even though those plot points are really slow to get going. Nothing much happens for a lot of the movie. You get some awkward conversations and some weird things happening. And I don't really mind a slow burn movie. I actually prefer them, as long as there are things that move the story or the character development forward. And I feel that they don't do that here. You get introduced to characters that have no impact on the story whatsoever. There are also plot points that are left unexplained. I have to admit that I was excited for this movie, but it's kind of disappointing. Because most of this movie we have seen before. The reveal of what's happening we have seen before in other ways. When you find out what's going on, it kind of feels predictable. And that's a shame because I feel that Osgood Perkins can be one of the most exciting voices in horror. And I'm not saying the movie is bad, it's definitely not one of the worst horror movies this year. I just feel it could have been much more. But these 2 main characters I feel just aren't developed enough. You really don't get a feeling for them, you don't get their perspective and what they want, and what they lose by not getting it. Yes, you get what one character wants by the end of the movie, but then it's too late. These 2 characters are very thinly written. And I guess if you want jump scares, that's okay. And I'm not saying this movie is full of jump scares, but if you don't want character development or a well-told story and just want to be scared instantly and every second by something jumping out in the screen, without much explanation to what they are or how it works, then you will love this movie. And I'm not saying I have to get explanations for everything, but it has to be cohesive to the story you are telling. And I just feel that the script was rushed here. Like I said, Osgood Perkins has done 3 movies in 15 months. I feel like he has to slow down a bit. Because it's definitely noticeable in this movie that he didn't have enough time to write this story out fully. He should at least wait a year between movies to get more time to fully develop the script. But he's already having a new movie coming out next year with Nicole Kidman, called The Young People. So he's definitely not slowing down. And now I will go into the spoilers, so if you have not seen this movie, come back to this video later on. So this couple, they have been together for a year, and they decide to go on this trip to this cabin. When they arrive there, things are good at the start. She gets to meet the boyfriend's brother and his girlfriend. And those two characters are the characters have no impact on this movie. They are just kind of there to serve one particular plot point. The girlfriend, she gets killed by the brother. Our main character Liz, she sees it through the window, but she doesn't see who did it. She sees that the body is hidden, but she didn't see who hid it. Before that, she was offered a cake by her boyfriend. And that scene was kind of awkward. You kind of figured out that something weird is going on, because they are basically hugging and things like that, and he offers her the cake in the middle of that. So he acts kind of suspicious. Then later on, she starts seeing visions of the brother's dead girlfriend, warning her about things. So she's clearly hallucinating. And I'm not really retelling this movie in order, just having the main points in here. And she basically starts going crazy in the cabin, more and more. It escalates to a point where she wants to leave, but the boyfriend stops her and then confesses about things that are going on in this movie and what his motives are. And it's basically that him and his brother, they are much older than they look. They are basically several hundreds of years, at least. And at that time, they met a strange woman. She was pregnant, but she was trespassing their father's property 200 years ago. And the movie hints that she has some sort of connection to demons and that she's some kind of Satanist. They wound her first and then they kill her. But not before she managed to give birth to a group of monsters. And they demanded sacrifices from the brothers to give them eternal life. So that's basically the big mystery of the movie, the big reveal. And that's what I found a bit predictable. Not maybe predictable, but we have seen this kind of story played out before. And things aren't really fully explained in this movie. And I don't mean like I didn't understand it, but there are logical lapses in the internal world and storytelling. This could have worked if it was developed much better. If the two main characters were developed better. If the rules of the story made more sense within the story. But it doesn't here, and it's very disappointing. Basically, up until the reveal, the movie is fine. Sure, the characters, the main characters, they are not that interesting, and there are some pacing issues. But it was interesting enough until the reveal. And the movie is shot beautifully. The performances are great. It all just feels so rushed. So I really hope that Osgood Perkins' next horror movie will be better than this. But I am giving Keeper a 6 out of 10. Not bad, but could have been much better. If you like this video, you can like, share and subscribe. Also, don't forget to smash the bell icon so that you don't miss any of my future videos. This has been Phantom Frame. Thank you so much for watching.